Good evening. Yes, I'm starting part 1 on this Sunday night here. Thanks to Doug for sending me the link for the schematic, and all the other people that have chimed in for the model number. It's a 1941 Zenith, model 6D like in dog 525. 6D 525, so it's no longer a mystery radio. Off camera, and only thing I've done is I've soaked these two knobs in some cleaning solution. I got them almost totally clean, not perfect. There's little dots all around here. You probably can't see that. Maybe you can. So basically what we're going to do tonight is absolutely no restoration. And we're going to take it out of the case and go over it and see what I need to do on it. So the first thing we're going to do, pull off the two knobs here, and there are two felt washers, so these are probably original. I'll tell you, I can't grab anything. Use a needle nose to get that off. They usually end up ripping them up. That's an unusual looking shaft. I don't know if you can see that right there. It doesn't look normal, but we'll know when we get it out. Maybe it's a new control. This is the volume control. This is the tuning. So what we're going to do now is we're going to turn it around, and the cord is very, very stiff on this radio. So we're going to cut the cord off because it's not polarized. So we'll join you when I get the radio turned around here. So we're going to cut the cord off. It's not crinkly, but it's very, very stiff. So we're going to put a two-prong polarized plug-in cord on here. So now we're going to remove the partial back, which is right here. And thanks to my viewers, this is not a modification. This is the way it is. I think somebody called it a Zenith wave magnet. But those usually turn in the console down below. But anyways, I want to thank you for that information. I appreciate it. And then the model number, I've got quite a few of you chimed in on the model number of this radio. So what we're going to do now is to find the socket wrenches needed to get this off. That looks like 1/4 inch. I'll go right back. All right. 2 slotted screws here. And we got a little magnetic dish here that we're going to be using right here. We don't lose our hardware. All right, so we put that in a safe place. Judging from this here, it's precisely cut, so that's the way it's made. So obviously there must have been a vent hole here and a long vent hole in each side, and this opening was cut here for this terminal here, and the rest of it must have come up here, so it probably broke off years ago. So we're going to put that off to the side, and now we've got to remove. If you look on this, it's telling you here to service the tubes, remove this back and these 2 screws. So the arrow is pointing to this and this. So that's what we're going to do right now with the 1/4 inch nut driver. Quite long. I hope I'm in camera. All right. It's captured right here with, that's the line cord I cut off, the very stiff line cord. Alright. I'm going to get in there with a magnifying glass to make sure, it looks like just one terminal. And on the back here, there's a jumper across here. So the jumper's in place. The wire is connected right here that is holding this from being totally removed from the radio, and nothing is connected here. The wiring for this is probably connected here, but I will have to do that off camera. Well, I'll get back to you. We've got to heat the soldering iron up so we can take that wire off. We can't, we'll just cut it. Alright, I'm on a very bad angle here. I just don't have a good setup for camera work, so I apologize. Nothing I can do about it. I try to share and let you see what I'm doing here. Like I say, we're not doing any actual work. The most work we're going to be doing with a soldering iron right now is to, if I can see where the solder goes, I can't even see it going on the tip here, is to try to remove that wire here, right here. There we go. Oh, we got another wire on the other end here. So let me stop the camera a minute. Okay, right here where my finger is, there's two wires. One's going to the grid gap of what looks like the RF tube. Now this is supposed to have an RF stage, but it's only a 2-gang tuning condenser, not a 3-gang. Now this is rubber coated wire here, it's all falling apart. So that black one here is on the top, and this is from my records. We're going to cut that. We're not even going to use the soldering iron because we're not going to be putting that black wire back on. So we're going to be cutting that off right here. It's all falling apart. And the grid cap goes on the lower one. So that appears to be cloth. Go to feel. If it is rubber coated, it's not coming apart. So let's get the iron back on. And let's see if we can get the flashlight to lay in there so you guys can see it. Make sure. Move my finger around so yeah, it's in view. Alright, so we're going to try to unsolder that lower wire, which is that goes to the grid cap here. So get the iron good and hot here. Gotta be careful on my camera. I got the JVC I'm using. Yes, I'm using HD, but my Kodak Play Touch no longer works. The one I used outside by the brook, it says it don't recognize the card. I take the card out and I put it in the computer, it's just fine. Put it back in and it started working. I don't trust it anymore. And there's no notification as to whether I got it. So far, the ZI-8 has not even been shipped. I heard nothing from them at all. But it is a holiday weekend. You know, the Labor Day. I've got to put some pressure on this, see if I can get that off. Bad angle here. Now we'll cut it. I'm not going to worry about it. I was going to try to save it, but we'll cut it. We'll get the dikes and cut it. Yeah. That's all. That'll solve that problem. Okay. Now, we'll move this out of the way here. Get this light off. Okay. As I said, it's about an inch thick. Yes, there's the windings going around this way too on it. All right, let me get you back a little bit more here, so you'll be able to see that. The viewfinder is hard to see. There it is. Okay, so I'm turning it all around here, and you can see how it is constructed. I'm tempted to put spots of hot glue. I'm going to get myself in the camera here. Hot glue along the middle of this, maybe, just to keep it together. It looks like they might have had some kind of a glue coating on some of these wires, because like this one here doesn't move, and these do. So it probably would, you can see where there's a little bit of glue here. So, and there's some glue here, but most of it's come off. So I think what we're going to do is put some hot glue on it. But we're not doing that tonight, of course. That's going to be a future thing before we get the radio done here. Let me stop the video here for a second. Alright, let's get you a little light on the subject here. Now these blocks just laying in there for those long screws that I showed you over here that held the antenna loop coil assembly in. So they just went through here and into the chassis. So we'll put those in the thing there. This cord, so this is not original. I don't think this cord was original. This is a 1940s radio. Somebody had said it's in the 30s. It's not, because I don't think they had octal tubes until the very late 1930s, maybe 39, 38, 39. So before that, your tubes were 4, 5, 6, 7 pin tubes, the fat pins. Anyways, so we've got these wires. Now we got the video to back up where we need to be, and so forth, so we don't mess up. It looks like we got a nice piece of asbestos down here under the chassis. What we're going to do tonight, and only we're going to do, provided I can get the speaker out with the chassis, is, and everything comes out in one piece. We're going to pull the chassis, and we'll give an examination of the chassis, and then in part 2 we'll be working and looking at the components and probably start replacing the capacitors and so forth and testing the tubes. So for today we're going to just pull out the chassis and go over what it needs. Before we get started on removing this from the case, I noticed some discoloration here. Yeah, this seems to be dirt. I don't really know what I should use on that. I know nothing about cabinets. Should I use a cleaner on this, or is it going to take off the finish? I have some very strong cleaner. I also have Goop. I think it's Goop, not Gojo, but Goop, G-O-O-P. A hand cleaner, waterless hand cleaner. It's about the only thing I can think of. Maybe that'll take it off. It seems to come off. Or should I try just plain water? I don't think that'll do much good. But I don't want to ruin the cabinet. That's the last thing I want to do. So let's get this thing out of the case. So this must have been worked on in order to have a replacement cord. A little crappy mess here a little bit. All right. Yep, it's a 2-gang tuning condenser, 6 tubes, counting the rectifier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So let's turn it around here. Let's take the cabinet off the bench for now. We got to do a lot of cleaning on that. Oh, the speaker don't look too good, and the speaker has been worked on. Let me stop that. I'll have to hand hold this because there's no way I can do it on this bench here. I'll just show you. Here's that oddball thing on the volume control. This can't be original, but it's got a regular spline shaft on it. The control looks original. No big deal, as long as it works. Don't have much to it. Should be an easy restore. We'll show you the speaker. It's been fixed. Oh yeah, it's cracking all over here. Yeah, that's bad. Nice dial. I have to get I gotta stand up. Can't see the viewfinder of the camera. They should put the viewfinders on the right side. Okay. The schematic shows a field coil. At the tube in the way, but that's a magnet there. That is not a field coil speaker. So, the schematic I got, and I'm going to show you that, and then we're going to pretty well end this for tonight. Right here. It's very hard to read. It's not a very clear schematic. It came from, I think, Nostalgia or something like that. And there's the speaker, the output transformer and the speaker. The field coil, but this is the model number. Rider's manual. April 1941. And the model. Okay, the battery's going in the camera, so I got to charge them. I got one battery on charge up here now for the JVC. And we'll have to charge this one in the camera. Okay, so that's it. This is the end of part 1. We'll be working on this again. We're not sure exactly when we'll get back to it, but we got a lot of cleaning up to do. I take a toothbrush and I go around everything. I pull the tubes out and I clean it that way. I don't strip the chassis. That's way too much work and I'd wreck it doing it. Okay, that's it. This is the end of part 1. Stay tuned for part 2 coming to a computer near you. Thank you very much for watching.